Hello. Hey. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm using my phone as a router, and for some reason it just cut. So I'm back. And do you know what? I just we're really giving a fantastic answer to this question of Anthony. I don't know how much of the answer is working. No, not is working, was spoken about. Let me go to the last one and just quickly listen. Let's see. Right at the end there, what I got up to. I don't know if I can be bothered to give the answer. Honesty and willingness to share, and you don't have to take anything I say as gospel. Get in touch with your gut and see what your gut says. I'm talking about the vaccine and everything that I've expressed here. That's not right. Yeah. So let me just see what last it shared. Yeah, so last week I was talking about stuff that I've told you I can't talk about. Afterwards, I got a frustration and depression and but it's really because of suppressed feelings. So then what you have to do is you have to go back to unlocking your feelings. Osho humanitarians that do great courses on getting in contact with your feelings. You can also go to talk therapy. To me, talk therapy, I think I'm going to have to take my internet thingy down. I think I'm going to have to make my camera less. Less is more. Yeah, it's saying that the internet's not great. I'm going to take the settings, the bit rate down, output. Yeah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, and non-defined gendered people. 1,000. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, hello. So we are back to hands. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Hans.
1 second. Yes. I'm sorry about the microphone. I had to. It
That's
wasn't
okay.
plugged in correctly.
That's okay. That happens to us all, right?
So my question is about like a lot of non-dual teachers, and you too, are like talking really positively about non-duality, and that is so wonderful, and I think it is. But my journey has been really scary sometimes, like really frightening, and I don't hear you talk about that so much. That's totally okay, by the way. I'm not saying you should or not, but I'm wondering if your path to awakening, if you had like fear as a human being about this whole thing.
Oh, sorry, that's the end of the sentence, right? Okay. Can I just ask, Hans, how old are you?
I'm 25.
And this fear has only been arising since you got involved in non-duality?
No. I've been dealing with fear too, but I'm also talking about fear relating to the dissolution.
Right.
I mean, it seems to be a progressive. I feel like my life has become more non-dual, if that makes sense. And sometimes that's really awesome, and sometimes it's like really scary. Like, oh my god, this is real, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit frightening.
When did you start experiencing a lot of fear? Like.
Oh, it's been a few years since it's got really bad, but the fear, seeing now, it has been there almost my whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't know that back then, but
Yeah.
now
Do
I
you
can
know,
see really.
just to tell you this, like fear and love are so close together. So
Explain
like,
me that.
because the fear is like when you're getting afraid, it's like you're right on the edge of life and death, really.
Okay, yeah.
And like on the other side of death, like psychological death or the personality death, like it's absolute love, not physical death. So I just say that, but it's the reason that you're feeling exaggerated fear is a personality thing. It's not necessarily to do with non-duality, but the non-duality is bringing it up more because it's breaking down your barriers of what you know, and then most probably evoking a lot of lack of safety. So the fear, I would say, is your karma. It's your personality has more of a tendency towards fear, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like
it's annoying.
In some ways, you could see it as a good thing because it's most probably propelled you into this subject and propelled you to look deeper. But that will be to do with your genetic makeup. So your parents, your grandparents, your family line, and then it will be to do with the way in which your parents brought you up and the way in which your body mind decided to deal with that.
That makes sense, yeah.
Do you feel other emotions but fear, or is it predominantly fear that you experience?
No, yeah, fear has been like a big motivator, has been playing like a big role in my life. Mostly, I've been having like some sort of this is a hard word for me. Developmental trauma, I think, like complex PTSD. I don't know.
Developmental trauma. Oh god, you're going to trigger me now into dyslexia. Developmental trauma. Developmental.
Yeah, and there's like a new thing. It's called complex PTSD. I don't know if it's kind of the same, but that really relates with.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
I assume that you had a lot of difficult experiences in your childhood. Yeah.
And but the question. So yeah, I've been okay. So my path. It has been a lot of feel like indeed like karma is coming up, and also a part of my path because I'm doing like practicing meditation, and during meditation you have like sometimes you feel like you're going to die, and it seems like a part of my conditioning is getting dissolved, and it feels like death, and like my perception after such a moment, my perception can change permanently, and throughout all those little shifts, my life has become a bit more non-dual, and sometimes that feels like a little bit scary, like I'm losing control. I also have to admit I like that journey. I like that it's scary from time to time, but I really wondered if you experienced like a fear, or is it just really like you said, it's really just my conditioning?
I did experience fear, but I think that we all have unique and different paths, and my path, even though there was fear, there was like for me there was a lot of hatred that had to come up. I think like victimization and hatred, which are like one and the same thing in a way. So I think that we all have different karmas, and you could say that that's scary, but I can understand like what you're saying as in like, to me the losing control didn't particularly bring fear, but for you it does. Like, but it did bring fear in me, but I would feel it more like as in losing control of my hatred or anger or rage or something. But so I can understand in meditation you have these expansive moments, like your body begins to expand, and then there's a feeling of lack of control, which will also be rooted in childhood, because you'd have felt very out of control in childhood if you've got complex PTSD, more than likely. It's like it's also going back to a trauma in childhood as well, and you have to be careful with that a bit to not re-traumatize yourself. But so I think that everybody's story is unique, and just becoming conscious of that. So exploring more. So to me, like lack of control, it comes from the solar plexus. Do you know where the solar plexus is?
Yeah.
So it's that energy, and like, so control. It's a really interesting spot, because that's also to do with the personality and wanting and not wanting, and making choices and not being able to make choices. So it's like, you could say that the solar plexus is the place of humanness. It's a weird idea, but it's like a lot of our humanness, like a lot of what makes us us in the personality structure is by what we choose and what we don't choose. So if you choose to be really rich, or if you choose to become a computer programmer, if you choose to become gay, or not that it's really a choice, but this is what we say. So it's like your choices define who you are in relationship to other people and to the world. And often when that place is out of balance, you can have people that are too zealous in their choosing, or underzealous. So it's like they can't choose, they're always in confusion, they're always afraid of choosing. Or you get people that are like over choosing, like too confident in their choosing, so like the opposite. And it's also the place of a lot of fear, like not trusting yourself, like not trusting life in a way as well, like not trusting that what you do will work out, or what is happening will work out.
I think that when you said trusting life, that felt like really relatable in my body. It's also like this mystery, what you always talk about, is also from the point of my point. I'm really excited about it, and it's bringing me a lot of good. But in some moments, it feels like, what the hell is this? You know, sometimes it's more like, what the hell is this, in like in a really intrigued way, and sometimes it's like, what the hell is this, in like in a scary way, in like if that makes sense.
Totally. And it's just paying attention to that, and just being really real and honest with it. And it's really okay to feel that. And then also noticing that when you go into trauma, it's best to just pull yourself out of that by listening to music or doing something else, like if you go into strong trauma. And so, but then the rest of the time, like investigating it and seeing what's there, and understanding it better, and what's underneath that. Also, trust can come from lower chakras. It can also be the root and the sacral chakra as well. So you can put attention there, like trust in yourself, like trust in life, trust in the ground, trust that you can create and that you can look after yourself. And all of these things, you can see how they're also related to childhood traumas, because if you had parents that weren't trustworthy, or if you had parents that were always teaching you that you couldn't trust yourself, then this is something that's going to come up. And it's just noticing that, connecting it with those past experiences, and just being open to it, and seeing, most importantly, that isn't who you are, and that you're not going to solve your life through that. It's important to do that, but you're not going to solve your life through that. Like the freedom is this vastness, this emptiness, which is looking now, which is all things and no things.
For me, it's so beautiful, and for me, it's also weird that I know I've said this a couple times, but that's like that's that can't that how do you say that? That it's not scary for that. I cannot imagine that it's not scary for some people to
Yeah, sure.
make this transition.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, totally.
Oh,
It's scary.
what's happening?
Oh, is it cutting out the internet again?
Oh no, I just I accidentally started the stream again, so I heard you 2 times.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So just like I've forgotten where we were, but I just feel like hammering on about. So yeah, it is scary in the personal world, but to who you truly are, there is no fear. That which is experiencing now is not in a state of fear.
Okay.
It's free, it's vibrant, it's alive, it's watching, and it's totally content, and that's your essence. So it's the body-mind that's going into fear and trauma.
Yeah.
And you aren't the body-mind. That's something that's appearing in this.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I have another question, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
I really like your approach about mixing non-duality with psychology, like doing stuff for the character, and I really relate to that. And my spiritual path has also been a lot of like that. And I was wondering if you had some sources for to explore the psychology part a little bit more,
Sure.
because
yeah, if you go onto my web page, there's a page called references, and there's lots of different teachers and books and YouTube channels that I recommend on there. And there's so much more I could put on there, but it's like finding the time to do it.
Okay, I see it now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much. Thanks for everything.
With pleasure, Hans. Yeah, lots of love. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay. So anybody else like to call me? So if you do, just call me and I will take you first. There's lots of questions now. So I'll just go back to call me. Okay, cool. KTW. So just remember, if I'm going to call you, to have your headset, microphone, and you can test it beforehand, and also to be clear on what it is that you want to ask. Nice. I just put yes.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, lovely to be here with you. Thank you for this.
Yeah, with pleasure. Yeah.
So I'm kind of laughing at the thing we call myself as I'm preparing to ask this question, and I would like to ask it. It feels like a very human question.
Okay.
I can feel. My name's Kate. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey, Kate. Nice to meet you.
And it feels like in the being that we call Kate, there's a closeness, like a moving over from living more in the intellectual world, like having this as an intellectual understanding and having it kind of deeply embodied. I have had moments where it's just been true and everything else falls away. And my very human question is there anything I can do, we can do? So just like, that feeling of, or that thing, a phenomenon of watching the penny kind of like circling around the bowl and it's just about to drop.
Yeah.
And that in itself is quite a nice feeling. And that's my question. Is there anything I can do to just like nudge that forwards, or do I just sit with the impatience?
Yeah, seeing that impatience arises and then that which you are is free. So in the story, in you, there is this energy that wants to nudge it forward, but that's the illusion, that's the dream. And I get the sense that you know this, but sometimes you have to hear it again and again and again. Like, so until it like really goes in. Like, so that one that wants to do something, it can do all types of things, but the idea that it will lead you to something is an idea that's coming and going. It's not an actual reality. And whatever you do in the human world is whatever you're going to do. It's, you could say it's destiny without there being a past, a future, and a present. Like it's going to be the way it is. So you're going to do what you do, whether it be like sitting and meditating, and then after the meditating there might be a massive expansion, but all of that is in storyland. Like that which you are is here. It doesn't need a story or not story. What feels uncomfortable is that sometimes there is more of a dissolving into that, and that's taking over, and then sometimes there's more identification with the person, and that feels uncomfortable. And then the person wants to be able to control that, but that's just the story arising. There is nothing to control. It's a happening. It doesn't mean like kick everything out and throw the baby out with the bath water. It doesn't mean that. It's like practices will appear, things to settle down the person will appear, but the idea that you are going to get to this is an idea. The idea that you've got to settle down more is an idea. That it is here, it is free, it is experiencing.
I thank you. It's like you've just reached in and kind of put your finger right on it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, with pleasure, Kate. And sometimes it just needs to be heard again and again. And it can be like a deep knowing of that, but it's then this energy comes and it wants to be expressed again.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I do have the feeling of kind of, or there is the feeling of wanting to hear it over and over again. And quite honestly, if that's how the time gets used, that doesn't, seem so bad. And I just, if I might, it reminds me of another teacher of mine who's also like a kind of old school sort of Buddhist, but also you could say, non-duality teacher. And he talks about payoff. And he's just like, if you're just getting snagged in that idea that I do X and Y and Z and then pay off, ka-ching.
Yeah.
It's like, then you've just got lost again. You just need to come back. So really, thank you. Your output means a huge amount to me. Thank you.
Oh, with pleasure. Thanks, Kate, for calling in. Yeah, lots of love to you.
Yeah, same to you, my darling. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. Case here. Yes, case here. Yes.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, with pleasure.
I'm really enjoying your talk today.
Oh, nice.
I just have a question. I would love to hear you talk. Maybe you've talked about it before, but it's just a topic that fascinates me. I would love to hear you talk about dreams and what happens to us when we're asleep. I know there's so many people getting more into it, meaning that they study it. There's a lot of symbolism in dreams and so on. Then some people don't pay attention to dreams. But it's just, I happen to be a person with very vivid imagination, and I'm really fascinated with certain dreams that I have. And to a certain degree, I feel like they do mirror our mind during our waking times. And they're just fascinating. And sometimes it's just the feeling that I get, and I'm sure other people get dreams like that, where they feel like they are reconnected with their true nature, where everything is just bliss and love, and you feel like you're in some sort of different state, different planet, And I do get dreams like that sometimes. Maybe I'm floating, maybe I'm flying. So I'm just interested if you could talk about that from non-duality perspective, or maybe you you had interest in that, or maybe experienced something like that yourself?
Yeah, I'm not so interested in dreams. I never have been. You know how some people are really fascinated by it and like really touched by it. I do dream, but it's just never really interested me that much. But I just, because it's come up, I just have to tell you about a dream that I had a few nights ago because it's just so funny. So I dreamt I was holding a retreat, and the doctor came in and said, "You're dying of stomach cancer, and you're gonna die on Tuesday, and you're not gonna make it, through the retreat, and you need to get another teacher in to teach the retreat." And so I went and got another teacher in, and the teacher was Muji, but Muji was in his feminine, and so it was Muji, and he was in a masculine body, but he was like wearing glittery high heels, glittery clothes. He had like his dreadlocks all pinned up on his head. He was wearing like glittery makeup, and so he was like dressed up in the feminine, but it was him, and he ran the retreat. And then I didn't die. Like, it came Tuesday and went, and I didn't die, but he was teaching the retreat as a woman, like as a man.
That's funny.
That transvestite. And I don't normally have such vivid dreams like that. It was so vivid. And apparently, like, I've told a friend, and it was a few days ago, and it was like the day of the guru or something. So I was like, oh, is Muji's feminine going to be a guru of mine or something? So that's funny. But I'm not.
So maybe there's some meaning to that then, maybe it wasn't an accident.
Yeah, but I really just can't be bothered with it to actually look into it, like to really study dreams. But yeah, I'm sure there was some sort of subconscious thing going on there, and you could put like lots of connections. And I think it's beautiful, like people's connection to the dream, and I think it can be healing, and that they can learn a lot by doing their dreams. So I've just never been into that, so I don't know much about it. But you mentioned another thing as to what happens when you're asleep, and I just felt like talking a bit about going into deep sleep. So, because deep sleep is very interesting to me. The dreaming is not so interesting to me, but deep sleep is. And like, what do you feel happens in deep sleep?
Oh, well, there's nothing there. I feel like I'm gone. Like, there's really nothing to tell.
Yeah.
It's just the memories of dreams that we can talk about later.
Yeah.
But I also experience just the feeling of being like melted away. Like, there's nothing specifically happening even, but it's just something in between, like floating between worlds. I've experienced something like that.
Yeah.
So being in pure love, pure bliss. So I suppose somewhere in between worlds, I can,
Yeah.
describe it that way.
Yeah,
Other than that, I probably don't remember anything else,
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's what happens in deep sleep, is you could say that we go back to the source of who we are in deep sleep, but it never exists. So the source of who we are is not a thing, but that never exists because existence can only happen with things. So in deep sleep, you go back to the source of not a thing. But it doesn't happen.
As odd as it sounds, it makes sense.
Yeah, it is really odd to say. But it doesn't happen, so you never experience deep sleep, because you can't experience deep sleep because experience can only happen when things are happening. So in order to really fully be yourself in a way, there has to be no thingness and everything, because non-existence doesn't exist without existence. So you have to have these two in play. So what we have of deep sleep is just the absence of time. It never actually happens, which is really weird. But what
that is so amazing.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's so weird. But what happens, like, when you're in that process of waking up, so then going into the dreaming state, is that there is absolute nothingness, and then it comes back into the world of things and the identification with the body mind. So in your dreaming state, there is most probably part of your dreams is not including the identification with the body mind. And then you can have like dreams of absolute pure love, because that's what you are when there is no identification with the body mind. It's like pure love, and that's a really beautiful state to be in. but it is a state in a way, because in waking life there has to be some form of identification with the body mind. But in this dream state, you can also get it in waking state when you go into samadhi or into deep meditation.
Yes, that is so fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's another proof that we really don't do anything. Like things are being done in a way, because who can plan that tonight I'll have a dream like that? We're just being taken there, and that's it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's really a gift that happens to you. Like a lot of people don't have that happen in their dream, the disidentification. But everybody comes to this in different ways. Like some come to it through meditation. It doesn't really matter, but it's a happening. It's not your doing, like you say.
Yes, so that gives me, I can say, maybe a glimpse of something that I would like to see more of, if you know what I mean, or experience more of, because I have a memory of it, if you know what I mean. Like I was there, it's just melted into love, and this feeling of relief, total relief.
Yeah.
That's how I can describe it. So yeah, it's just amazing. It happens from time to time. I don't know when and how, but it just
Yeah, nice.
Thanks for that, Lisa.
And are you feeling better now? You were in hospital last time we spoke.
Oh yes, that's right. Oh, thanks. You're very good for remembering. Yes, I'm recovering at home now, and I am feeling better. This whole experience was like a big lesson and a big learning curve for me. Like so many things have changed, and again, out of control completely. I couldn't do anything about it. I was sick for many months, Lisa, and then I was just saying I will never have a surgery. I didn't want to go there, and then when it had to happen, it really saved my life. So I'm just grateful now and recovering. So
nice.
just enjoying things, and I think my perspective changed slightly as well. And this is one of those gifts from life that you didn't know you needed.
Yeah, totally.
Where you're being pushed into a different kind of a different spot, basically, where you need to gather yourself again, and things look slightly different, and your mind has to adjust, and there's just so much beauty in that. And I'm glad now. So thanks so much. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I'm getting there.
Oh, good. Oh, I send you lots of love to you and your dog. I remember you've got a dog.
That's right. She's right next to me. She's just we're both, on bed. She's having a nap because it's so warm. So she's just cooling herself down.
Nice. Yeah.
And just want to say as well, thanks for. I always enjoy you referencing Khaleesi. It's just so lovely,
Yeah. Yeah. She's just outside on the balcony, looking at me. I can tell she's getting ready to come and demand her dinner.
Yes. When it's time, it's time.
Yeah.
That's it. Because they are animals in general. I think they can be teachers as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Lots of love to you.
Thank you, Lisa, and thanks for everything you do. I really love listening to you. Thank you.
With pleasure. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
So Raphael says, you sound like a flight attendant headset. Oh, I'm a good internet. It's nice. I had a dream about you and my partner a few days ago. He told me off and I needed to get your pate frit chips with mayonnaise, and it was very important that you also get peanut sauce on it. I don't like peanut sauce on my chips. We call them chips in England. Fritz, French fries. Oh yeah, you knew that we call them chips. But I do like peanut sauce, but not on my chips. Ketchup and mayonnaise, but I'm not allowed ketchup anymore. Okay, I think that's enough for tonight. Yeah. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, I hope you heard the end of that, Anthony. I got cut off. Yeah, thank you for all the questions. There's lots of questions I haven't answered tonight, but it's 8 o'clock and that's enough. So you can write them again next week. Yeah. And I send you so much love. I really wish you not just one thing, not two things, not three things. I wish you everything. Yeah. And I send you lots and lots of love.